I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us at the station 970-677-4119. If you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on this channel. This is the Monday program, which is aired at noon, 2 and 6 p.m. It's also available on demand online at both our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. This is the program for February 3rd, 2020, DCTV's News at Noon. A trade deal with Mexico and Canada restores some certainty for Colorado farmers. That's the headline reported in the Durango Herald with a photo AP. President Donald Trump signed a new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada into law last Wednesday, solidifying a deal that restores some trade certainty to farmers in Colorado. The treaty, called the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, maintains trade practices in southwest Colorado from the original North American Free Trade Agreement, but it also gives American dairy and poultry exports greater market access, said U.S. Representative Scott Tipton, Republican from Cortez. The USMCA also adds new climate standards and provides measures for enforcing those standards, something that the North American Free Trade Agreement did not do. Quote, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico have made historic progress restoring trade certainty for years to come, Tipton said in a news release. This deal has the potential to significantly boost the economy in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. That's us. Taylor Szilagyi, Director of Policy Communications at the Colorado Farm Bureau, said the USMCA trade agreement is something the organization has been pushing for. Colorado is Canada's biggest supplier of beef, and beef accounts for more than $880 million of goods shipped to Mexico and Canada from Colorado. While there are not a ton of changes that affect Colorado producers, the stable export market and the ability for farmers to open their markets is a big win for them in the state. Szilagyi said. Bill Hammerich, Chief Executive Officer of the Colorado Livestock Association, said that from a beef standpoint, the stability the USMCA secures is important for ranchers across the state. The deal also enhances the market for beef products that don't have a high demand in the United States, such as beef heart, liver, and tripe, Hammerich told the Durango Herald. The trade agreement will also allow for the export of fresh potatoes to Mexico, which is an important crop in Colorado, Hammerich said. Quote, we've had a nice run here, Hammerich said in a reference to the USMCA trade deal and phase 1 of a trade deal reached this month with China. The reduction of tariffs with Japan will also be a stride forward, he said. Overall, Colorado, Mexico, and Canada trade more than $2.7 billion worth of goods between countries, U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, Republican from Colorado, said in his news release. Quote, nearly 250,000 jobs and billions of dollars of our economy in Colorado are dependent on trade with our North American neighbors, and I'm proud to have supported USMCA to give all of Colorado's exporters the best chance to access these markets and opportunities, Gardner said. Colorado exported more than $47 million of dairy products, $33 million of cereals, and $28 million of sugar and confectionery exports to Canada and Mexico in 2018, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. But a handful of senators, including Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, opposed the agreement, saying provisions in USMCA did not do enough to curb pollution from the agriculture industry. Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat from Colorado, supported USMCA because it is, quote, vital for Colorado's economy, from businesses on the Front Range to ranchers on the West Slope, he said at a Senate Finance Committee meeting earlier this month. We have to be honest, passing the USMCA will not ease the enormous pain and uncertainty from the administration's feckless trade policy over the last 3 years, Bennett said at his committee hearing. Szilagyi with the Colorado Farm Bureau said trade has been squishy in the past couple years, so the organization is excited to see the agreement will provide stability for farmers. Mexico has ratified the deal, and Canada is expected to ratify it shortly. The Durango Herald reported that Durango police seized a, quote, significant amount of LSD, cocaine, ketamine, and cash last Thursday night after a traffic stop. The investigation started when a patrol sergeant stopped a man on suspicion of driving under the influence, that according to a Durango Police Department post on Facebook. The sergeant was later joined by a police officer in his second week of training who took over the investigation, the post said. The rookie officer arrested a New Mexico man on suspicion of drug distribution and driving under the influence, the post said. The drugs and cash were found during the investigation. This is a developing story, but you can always check back with DurangoHerald.com for further updates. And CBS Denver reported on the state of school buses in Colorado with a photo iStock. A Colorado lawmaker wants to tighten up school bus security regulations, and it could mean increased protection against terrorist attacks for students. A total of 365,000 students ride buses daily, with buses being the largest form of mass transit in our state. That's why Senator Don Coram says we can't take any chances. The risk of not being prepared is too great. The Republican representing Southwest Colorado introduced a new bill, quote, the Smart School Bus Safety Pilot Program. That bill was in committee on Wednesday morning for a hearing. The school bus safety bill would create an app that allows parents to track their kids' buses at all times, equip buses with silent alarms and radios, and install a dedicated broadband network on buses that puts drivers anywhere in the state in direct communication with law enforcement. The bill would also fund recruitment and screening of drivers. Coram's bill is part of a larger effort to increase safety in Colorado schools. The state has spent $75 million over the past 2 years. Homeland Security is also training drivers in anti-terrorism. There is no indication that school buses in Colorado are at risk, and there has not been a terrorist incident involving a school bus within the United States. But now let's take a look at the local weather for our snow, which might be an effect for the school buses as well, and the outlook for those winds that are also going to be quite windy this week. Today, snow showers are likely, mainly between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday, patchy blowing snow between 1 and 4. It'll be cloudy with a high near 37 degrees, but the real weather we've already been feeling today is those winds, expected to continue to be breezy with a south wind 15 to 25 miles an hour, becoming west in the afternoon, and then those winds could gust as high as 40 miles an hour. The chance of precipitation of some type sits around 70%, with total daytime snow accumulations of 1 to 2 inches possible. With those winds, it may depend where the drifts happen, whether it's 1 to none in some areas and 2 to 5 inches in other places. Be careful out there on the roads. Tonight we will see a 30% chance of snow showers continue, mainly before 8 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies with a cold low around 10 degrees. And joys of joys, the wind shifts back out of the north, around 10 miles an hour, creating more wind chills, so the feel will be in the single digits tonight for sure. Into Tuesday, we still have a slight chance for snow showers between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. However, mostly sunny the rest of the day with a high near just 22 degrees. Southwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour become northeast in the morning, and a low chance for actual snow, just around 20%. Then Tuesday night, mostly clear, which will take those nighttime temperatures down to a low at 5. Again, with north winds around 10 miles an hour and gusts as high as 20 miles an hour, it's sure to even feel colder. So Tuesday night, be prepared for super cold. Wednesday, sunny, not warming up very much with a high just near 25 degrees, and north winds remain at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Into Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 12 degrees. For Thursday, partly sunny and a higher high near 36 degrees, partly cloudy and a low around 22 for Thursday night. And then we see a bit of a warm up for Friday and Saturday, mostly sunny Friday with a high near 43 degrees. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 22. And Saturday, sunny with a high near 44 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy and a low around 25. And then the next potential for more snow may be on next Sunday. And we had some fun this weekend with Puxatawny Phil apparently seeing his shadow and saying that spring was going to be early. The Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce thought it would be fun to see what the pinto bean said. And apparently they say that there's cold, ice, snow, mud, and they really don't think that winter's over yet for us in the Southwest Colorado area. And now let's take a look at more of the news. From the news desk of KUNC with a photo Utah BLM. The Trump administration has spent the past month announcing sweeping changes that could benefit ranchers on public lands, including a proposal to overhaul grazing regulations for the first time in 25 years. The proposed revisions would, in part, make it easier for ranchers to graze cattle in the name of reducing fuel loads and combating wildfires on federal lands. It could also reduce red tape and increase efficiencies, according to the Bureau of Land Management. Quote, "This rulemaking effort is designed to strengthen and improve our administration of grazing permits across the West, and we welcome public and stakeholder ideas and perspectives," said Acting Assistant Secretary of Land and Minerals Management Casey B. Hammond in her statement. But some environmental protection groups, including the nonprofit Western Watersheds Project, contend that the potential new changes will lead to less oversight and more unauthorized grazing on public lands. They also disagree with the agency's assertion that increased grazing could reduce the risk of wildfires. Quote, "It's clear that BLM seeks to expedite these types of permits under the guise that it will benefit public lands," the nonprofit said on its website. Quote, "In fact, grazing leads to the increase of invasive annual grasses and larger, more frequent wildfires." The agency has yet to publish its revised regulations. First, it's hosting a series of scoping meetings across the Mountain West to further inform the public about its intent. Then, it will draft an environmental impact statement. John Freemuth, Cecil Andrus Endowed Chair of Environment and Public Lands at Boise State University, said it's still too early to gauge the full impact of these proposed revisions and to fully understand their relationship with the Trump administration's recent plans to overhaul a landmark environmental law that affects grazing. Quote, "There are still too many moving parts right now," he said. "Until we can see how they all relate, we're just speculating." Public scoping meetings about the proposed new grazing regulations will begin in early February. They include the following: Miles City, Montana, February 6th, Las Cruces, New Mexico, February 11th, Elko, Nevada, February 18th, and Casper, Wyoming on February 20th. And for more Colorado State updates, from the ColoradoCenterSquare.com, photo courtesy the Colorado Channel. The Colorado Senate on Friday passed a bill that would repeal the death penalty, a move they attempted and failed to do during last year's legislative session. With the passage, Senate Bill 100 now moves to the Democratic-controlled House, where it's expected to pass. Governor Jared Polis also has indicated in the past that he would sign a death penalty repeal bill if one made it to his desk. The legislation this session has the support of 3 Republicans, Senators Jack Tate, Republican from Centennial, Owen Hill, Republican from Colorado Springs, and Kevin Priola, Republican from Henderson. A similar bill last session was strongly opposed by Senator Rhonda Fields, Democrat from Aurora, who this session also urged her colleagues to vote against the death penalty repeal bill. Fields' son and his fiancée were murdered by 2 of the 3 men that are currently on Colorado's death row. Quote, "What this body is doing is they're mandating the abolishment of the death penalty at the expense of victims," Fields said before the vote on the Senate floor on Friday. "Who are you serving and who are you protecting by this action?" Fields said that the Colorado voters, not the legislature, should be deciding if the death penalty is repealed. Tate, one of the bill's sponsors, said he's, quote, "decided that the state should not have the power over life and death in any circumstance, including this one." SB 100, which passed 19-13 on the third vote, wouldn't apply to the 3 men currently on death row in the state, but Polis could commute their sentences. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. If you were planning on driving anywhere today or into tomorrow, be sure to check out the cotrip.org website for their road cams, the latest weather updates online, and here on DCTV we run the webcams from around the area on both channels, the one that serves up our local information you're watching now, and as a dedicated weather channel that broadcasts the radio updates 24/7 on channel 32.2 if you aim your antenna directly to the courthouse. So here's the latest. Dolores County Emergency Management has issued a storm watch with snow possible. Total snow accumulations of 4 to 9 inches possible, not directly in Dove Creek. Winds could gust as high as 50 miles an hour. Now that's in the areas of Rowan and Tavaputs Plateaus, Grand and Battlement Mesas, Flat Tops, Northwest San Juan Mountains, and Southwest San Juan Mountains. This lasts from today, Monday morning, through Tuesday afternoon. The potential impacts include that travel could be very difficult at times, with patchy blowing snow significantly reducing visibility, especially in open areas. Expect all mountain passes to be affected, with occasional whiteout conditions possible due to the combination of gusty winds and snowfall. A detailed map of the snowfall can be found online at weather.gov. There will be a free mental health first aid training in Dove Creek on Saturday, the February 22nd at the DC Public Service Center. This training is the adult MHFA and can accommodate at least 30 people. It will run from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's provided by Access Health System and Frontier at Dolo County Health Association in Dove Creek. Similar to first aid and CPR, mental health first aid teaches individuals how to help those experiencing mental health challenges or crisis. The course will also cover depression and mood disorders, anxiety disorders, trauma, psychosis, and substance use disorders. Participants will learn a 5-step action plan that guides them through the process of reaching out and offering appropriate support. Mental health first aid teaches about recovery and resiliency. To RSVP, you will email to hleonard, that's HLEONARD, at accesshealthsystem.org, or you can call 970-335-2207. And the Dolores County Extension Office will be hosting a Lunch and Learn webinar series every Thursday in February 2020. It'll last from noon to 2 p.m. All you need to do is grab a lunch and meet them at the Extension Office here in the courthouse basement. The Basic Ag Marketing webinar is meant to be an introductory course covering the mechanics of cash, futures, and options markets. This webinar is designed to meet the needs of agriculture producers who are new to commodity marketing and are looking for techniques to improve the prices they receive for their crops and livestock. This exciting new program will be brought to you by CSU agricultural and business management economist Brent Young. Brent will be remote and will appear via the internet. He will be live and encourages questions and discussions. The topics will be on February 6th, cash markets basis, February 13th, using the futures market to manage price risk, February 20th, using the options market to manage price risk, and on February 27th, price seasonality, selecting a broker, pre- and post-harvest market planning. This is a great idea to have the internet have a remote location where you can do all sorts of learning activities right here out of Dove Creek. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, where you can watch the program replay along with the news links and stories of local interests, and you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. We also try to link up to the Dove Creek Press Facebook page. They also have a lot of information and are quite timely on the weather situation. So if you're looking to find out how the roads are between here in Cajon or here in Monticello, that's a great place to drop in and ask your question or see if it's already been answered. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, you can contact us by email, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call us at 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to News at Noon. Programs are broadcast Mondays through Fridays with replays online on our YouTube channel or our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. If you like the program, please like us and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.